Okay, people, welcome to BOJTV social media roundup at this moment. Breaking news. The day for Tommy Lee Sparta judge is to rule if the artist has a case to answer to. Alright, so start subscribing to the channel right now. Hit the notification button. But we're going to give you a review to see how we got to this case. Alright, we're going to give you a review to see how we got to this stage. Alright, so trending right now on social media. The day for Tommy Lee Sparta judge to rule if artist has case to answer to. Let's first take a look at the story that was released by the Star yesterday. Judge views evidence in Tommy Lee Sparta's case, and this was the 19th of December. Let's run through that quickly. Right now, the lottery scamming trial involving entertainer Tommy Lee Sparta and his co-accused O'Brien Smith is expected to continue today with the prosecution further showing the judge more evidence. All right, now we're talking about yesterday. The afternoon session yesterday saw Detective Corporal Campbell go through much of the evidence he saw on the hard drive. The prosecution was able to open the folder called Tommy Lee, and they showed the court the findings which Detective Corporal Campbell had given testimony to earlier in the trial. Those of you who are following the case would have remembered that Detective Corporal Campbell had given testimony as a witness for the prosecution, indicating that he retrieved a hard drive and indicated certain findings that was not presented to the court, but they did that yesterday. Okay, so for the first time, the court saw the files containing the records of people's name, addresses, and telephone numbers. Photographs of the red Mercedes-Benz, which was promised to sweepstakes winners, was also shown to the court. There was also a document with a check for a person named Harold Sloan, valued at US $7.7 million from the Bank of Wachovia. Campbell also disclosed that the folder called Tommy Lee, which is on the hard drive, was created on January 15, 2014. Records also showed that it was last accessed on February 3rd, 2014 and last written to on January 15, 2014. Trial Judge Justice Caroline Tai. So right there you're getting it now. The trial judge is actually Justice Caroline Tai. Yesterday she indicated to the court that she would view the contents on the laptop. Alright, and thereafter defense attorney Ernest Smith is expected to cross-examine Campbell in relation to the evidence shown. Alright, so those of you who understand the legal system, once the prosecution presents its case, they present witness to back up what they are saying based on what they said in the evidence. Then it's the defense time in terms of the lawyers who are defending Tommy Lee, sorry, right there, tongue twister. All right, so they were expected to make a no case submission saying that the DJ had nothing to answer to. But before that, we're hearing that defense attorney for Tommy Lee, Ernest Smith, was expected to cross-examine Campbell in relation to the evidence shown in court. Tommy Lee, given name Leroy Russell, and 3 others were initially charged in February 2014 on suspicion of breach of the Law Reform Fraudulent Transaction Special Provision Act of 2013. However, no evidence was offered for 2 of the accused who were later released. The men were charged after investigation stemming from a traffic stop led police to a Kingston 5 apartment where lottery scamming paraphernalia were seized. Alright, so those of you who do not remember that a couple years ago Tommy Lee Sparta was stopped in the traffic, went to the house of the artist, and alleged documents containing information which seemed to suggest the artist was involved in scamming. The artist had denied those allegations. Alright, let's see what followed then. Alright, so the prosecution closed its case, and thereafter the Star is reporting this. Prosecution closed its case in Tommy Lee's lottery scam trial. Prosecution had closed its lottery scamming case against dancehall entertainer Tommy Lee Sparta. The artist, whose real given name is Leroy Russell, is jointly charged with O'Brien Smith for possession of identity information and unlawful use of premises. Wednesday morning session saw the court examining evidence that found on the HP Pavilion laptop computer that was seized by investigators at a house occupied by Tommy Lee. The prosecution has been arguing that Tommy Lee is involved in lottery scamming an illegal activity which has seen United States citizens being billed billions of dollars. Detectives alleged that they found a hidden file on a laptop belonging to the DJ with files containing personal information on several U.S. residents. Letters found in the recycled bin of a computer which is said to be used by the entertainer reportedly indicated to two U.S. seniors that they had won US $7.7 million and US $1.5 million respectively, and two red Mercedes-Benz in a lottery sweepstake. Tom Lee has pleaded not guilty. Tom Lee has said that he is not guilty of what he is accused of. Defense attorney Ernest Simmet is expected to make a no-case submission, which he actually did. So this takes us back now to the breaking news at hand. The day for Tamale Sparta judge to rule if Artis has case to answer to, and let's delve into that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel now. Okay, so today could be likened to Judgment Day for dancehall artist entertainer Tamale Sparta and his co-accused of Brian Simmet, as the trial judge Caroline Tai, as we told you earlier, is set to hand down her ruling in the lottery scam trial. Let's take a closer look. Yesterday, well, this should have read, there's an error here by the Star. The judge yesterday informed the court that she would make a ruling after a no-case submission was made by defense attorney Ernest Simmet. This after the Crown, steered by prosecution attorney Sophia Thomas, had closed their case against both accused. In making his submission, that's the no-case submission that we made mention of earlier, Simmet told the court, the prosecution having closed its case, I intend to submit that neither of these men be called to answer the indictment. In an effort to prove its case, the prosecution has placed its life on the contents of a laptop and external hard drive. My lady, in the first instance, the prosecution must prove that on the gadgets on which they rely were the sole possession of either or both accused, individually or jointly. He returned from the outset, it became blatantly clear. Let's take that again. He continued, this is defense Ernest Simmet, the lawyer for Tommy Lee. He is talking to the judge in presenting his no-case submission. He continued, from the outset, it became blatantly clear that numerous persons had access to these gadgets. If I'm not to use the forensic phrase, I would say there was a multiplicity of users in respect of these gadgets. The prosecution has never said that these two men put the evidence on the computers, where the evidence that even one phone call was made to any of these persons with the intent to defraud. Smith was also concerned that while accused men were in custody, the evidence showed that the devices were accessed on February 4th, 2014. That's a big point right there. In concluding, Smith also said the prosecution was confused because there were two indictments printed. One he claimed to have only been seen yesterday in court. Thomas, addressing the no-case submission, said the defense said that the Crown has not proven the authenticity of the items found in the devices, but the prosecution is not required by law to prove. The prosecution is not required to prove that the document the court has seen really came from the FBI or the men standing beside the Benz are real. Alright, so there you have it. At this moment, the day, it could be Judgment Day for Tommy Lee Sparta, as the judge is to rule whether or not the artist has a case to answer to. So let's get it correct. The judge is not going to rule today whether they are guilty or not guilty, but the judge, Caroline Tai, will rule if they have a case to answer to. Based on what we're picking up here, the defense lawyer, Ernest Simmet, is saying that even though the police found a laptop with certain information on it, there were a number of persons who had access to the laptop, and he is saying that there's no proof that Tommy Lee or his co-accused O'Brien basically put that information on the laptop. They're saying that it could be put by anyone. And of course, the Crown, the prosecution, it is their responsibility to prove beyond any doubt at all, reasonable doubt, that these persons are guilty. All right, so as I said, the judge is not going to rule today whether they are guilty or not, but they will rule whether or not Tommy Lee Sparta and his co-accused will take the stand. If she rules that they have something to answer to, they will have to go into the dock and be questioned by the prosecution, and they will have to give an answer. And thereafter, they will be cross-examined by his own attorney. Alright, so there you have it at this moment, breaking on BOJTV. Subscribe now to the channel, hit the notification button. We go live, we give you update content constantly. This is BOJTV social media update at this moment. D-Day for Tommy Lee Sparta, judge to rule if RTs has case to answer to.